It's spooky season, everybody. Happy Monday to you. I hope you are doing well today. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and you are watching Project Joy Live. It is your weekday triple shot of good vibes here on the Breakthrough Show Network. So we have an interesting title for you today, as you can see on the screen, for Love and Ghostbusters 2. What in the world do those things have anything to do with one another is my question for you, but I'm going to talk to you about it today. Because I saw something come across my news feed, and it wasn't the first time I've seen it, but it is the first time I made the decision to respond to it. And there was a comment that I received back to my response, like, what does that have anything to do with anything? So I'm going to talk to you about it here today, about Ghostbusters 2 and what that has to do with standing for love exactly. So we'll be talking about that coming up. Plus, we have national days to talk about, birthdays, and all of that as well. And I would love for you to join us live in the comments or on the replay. That's fine too. And share with us where you're joining from today. And of course, what is bringing you joy. There's a lot of things that are bringing me joy this morning. One of which is that my good friend, Brittany, has stopped by the comments to say, hey, I only have a few minutes before I go back to work, but I just had to come say hello and happy Monday. I am so glad to see your face, Brittany. Brittany has been doing a new job and so has been unable to join us in the comments like she always does. And I have missed her so terribly much. It really makes so much difference when someone's got this great energy and they join you on your live. And I just want you to know how much you've been missed, Miss Brittany. So it brings me a lot of joy to see you here this morning for sure. So that's one of my joys today. Thank you, Miss Brittany, for that. Also, last year around holiday time, someone gifted my family a one of the higher tier memberships to Mystic Seaport, which is in Mystic, Connecticut. And we had a lot, as you guys know, going on behind the scenes this year. It's really been challenging. And so we haven't had the opportunity to use that membership as much as I would have wanted to. And but we have gone a few times, and we did get to go yesterday, because the Sabino, which is an old like steamboat type boat. Now I'm not here up on the boat thing, but it's an old type of steamboat. They were doing fall leaves cruises, mini cruises up and down the Mystic River. And so we had the opportunity to go on the Sabino and go see the fall leaves, and it was so beautiful. And I have to shout out to my little ones, because my youngest, I shockingly tend to be more skittish about new things than I think I ever was, and my older kids were growing up. And so they were like, "Boat, I'm out." Like, they're like, even though they both have been on boats before, but they were too young to really remember it. And so I'm like, "Listen, you can it's gonna go slow. It's not like we're going out to sea. It's just the river." Like, I'm trying my best to talk them into it. And sure enough, I kept saying to them, I said, "You're gonna get on this boat, and you are going to be like, 'Mom, this is the best thing ever. This is awesome. I want to do it again,' right?" Sure enough, today they were like, "When can we go on the boat again, Mom?" So they not only did it, but they loved it. They had a great time. And so I had a shout out to them, that to Jazzy and Leah, that they did amazing going on the boat. But it was so beautiful. The water obviously very still in the Mystic River. There were lots of birds, and the leaves are changing here in New England, so it was just stunning. It wasn't too terribly cold yet, although my husband, my husband would probably tell you differently. He's like, "It's freezing." It's not cold yet, and that's the Canadian speaking, you guys. I'm like, "What happened? I thought you guys were used to the cold up there." I don't know. But at any rate, we had a great time. So that's bringing me a lot of joy today too, just to be able to get out with the family and have that time together. And it's beautiful weather, and all of that fun stuff. Unfortunately, we were supposed to do the Bumpers and Books event at the Groton Public Library in Groton, Connecticut, where it's like a trunk or treat sort of thing with the kids, and you decorate your trunk based on a book, and you get the prize is awarded and everything else. And we're supposed to be decorating a trunk, but it rained on Saturday, so unfortunately it was postponed, and our next date is supposed to be this coming Saturday. So please keep your fingers crossed that our event is not canceled for next Saturday, because I really wanted to listen. Our trunk is going to be so amazing, and I don't want to give it away to you guys. I want to wait and be able to show you um on the show what we did and everything else. I'm trying to keep it a surprise. I know a lot of you have put your guesses in. For those of you that don't know, we do like a theme for our costumes every year within the family, and this year all 7 of us are dressing up. And I've taken your guesses. There's been a lot of really fun guesses. Someone said Minions. We've already done that. Someone else a couple people said the Adams Family. They thought that we were doing that. The Brady Bunch was a guess. um there was a few others, but at any rate, if you have a guess, let me know. But I'm not giving it away till it's time to go out and do that, because I want to share the pictures with you guys. Let's really quickly talk about our national days today before we get into the heart of what is our spooky season episode, this Project Joy Live. So apparently, speaking of spooky season, today is National Horror Movie Day. So, two-part question for you folks out there today. Number one, do you enjoy horror movies? Number two, if you do, what is your favorite horror movie of all time? Let me know. Um, our National Horror Movie Day happens on October 23rd. If you love a good fright, today is the perfect day to promote the beauty and cathartic thrills of being scared by great horror movies. Now, I am not positive that I have always loved horror movies. I think that there's been some that I've watched, and I would say it's hard for me to even say enjoy, because they really freak me out. Like, I can't watch them like before I go to sleep or anything like that. I'm so super sensitive to different topics and everything like that. Um so really, it's ironic that we're talking about Ghostbusters today, because the Ghostbusters movies, while they're not considered like horror movies, I think they're probably more comedy. Those probably like the limit of where my enjoyment goes for horror movies. But I would say not so much enjoyment. I think the word I would use would be fascination with, maybe. I'm sort of fascinated by different horror movies. It depends on what they are. Obviously, some of you guys know that back in season 4, we had Dee Wallace on the show, who has been in so many horror movies. We had a great conversation about that part of her career. And she was in Cujo, the original The Hills Have Eyes, which the interesting part about that is I had only seen the remake. I had never seen the original until after I interviewed Dee Wallace, and I went back and watched it, and I was just like horrified by the whole thing. Dee, of course, was fantastic as always, but it's one of those things. I'm very sensitive to it. I also The Exorcist, some of the different Exorcist movies. Again, fascinated is a word that I would use. It's hard for me to say enjoy because I don't really feel very good after watching them. But I am always this person that's been sort of fascinated by the acting, directing, cinematography sort of process and things. So even if something is not necessarily enjoyable for me, story wise, I think I can appreciate the artistic quality that goes behind a lot of the films as well. So let me know what you guys think about that. Danielle's here this morning and she said, I cannot watch horror movies. I do not enjoy them. I'm too sensitive. Period. End of story, boys and girls. You heard it here first. So let me know if you guys on the replay have any favorites or whatever. It's a day though that I think many of us can get behind, because in addition, while you're watching your horror movie, it's also National Boston Cream Pie Day. And as a New Englander, okay, I can tell you I support this day. I support this message. National Boston Cream Pie Day serves up a delicious dessert on October 23rd each year. Pie lovers, move along. Cake lovers, pull up a chair. Let's celebrate the cake with an identity crisis. Boston Cream Pie is a chocolate frosted, custard filled cake that is loved by millions. In 1856, at Boston Parker House Hotel, a French chef created this pudding and cake combination. This decadent cake comprises 2 layers of sponge cake filled with vanilla flavored custard or cream patisserie. This cake is then topped with a chocolate glaze such as ganache or sometimes powdered sugar and a cherry. In 1996, Massachusetts cleared the Boston cream pie as their official dessert, as they should. As they should. We love some Boston cream pie. Is probably one of my favorite donuts as well. I think it's pretty much a New England staple to have to like Boston cream pie somewhere somehow. What else going on? We're celebrating big time today. Do you want to know why? It is National TV Talk Show Host Day. Who's sending me gifts? It's my day today. I love what I do. Being able to and not just host, but being able to produce these shows, being able to take ideas and not just commentate on them, but allow them to sort of be a creative fuel for what I stand for and what I know can help other people, and be able to put that out there in the world. And also, one of the things that I also do that maybe people aren't completely aware of is I help other people create their own TV talk shows. And so I really invite you to send me a message if that's something that you're like, hey, I wonder if I could do that. I wonder if that's something that that I'd be good at, that I could get my message out there. Send me a message, jessica@thebreakthroughshow.com, or hit me up on any of the Breakthrough Show Network social media. And I'm happy to have a conversation with you. Just sit and chat about why I think it is one of the best methods out there to get your message out. And also, there's nothing else on this planet that has really grown me more as a human being than doing this work. And so today, if you go live before a studio audience or a virtual audience in our case. We are celebrating National TV Talk Show Host Day, and appreciate their unique form of humor, entertaining stories, spontaneous wit. Thank you. And timely political jokes, which we try to steer clear of on here, but I will digress. So that is what we are celebrating nationally today. We're going to take a super quick break and we're going to talk about what the hell, what is the connection between for standing for love and Ghostbusters 2? I'm not really sure. We'll be right back after this to talk about it. Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every day for exclusive programming, special events, and a community to call home, where we invite you to explore, change the way you look at and live your life, and go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com. Welcome back to Project Joy Live. It is Monday, October 23rd, 2023. We are smack in the middle of spooky season, boys and girls. We have Halloween coming up. Let me know if you guys have Halloween plans. I just saw Danielle. You guys had gone to a party of some kind, so enjoyed seeing the costumes and the photos from that. Let me know if you guys are going anything else. Danielle, you have to come next Saturday to Sneakers, to the Halloween party. I think that's what we are going to do next Saturday as well. And it's going to be fun because if you guys knew my costume, which you don't yet because we haven't discussed it here on the show, it is a surprise. You will see that it's going to be wildly hilarious in a bar setting. And anyway, this morning we are talking about Standing for Love and Ghostbusters 2 and what in the world either one has anything to do with each other. Who has seen the movie Ghostbusters 2? Raise your hand down in the comment section so I can get a roll call here before I ramble on about this. So Ghostbusters 2 came out in 1989. Obviously, there was the original Ghostbusters movie, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, incredible actors, Sigourney Weaver, actors and actresses. I'm missing lots of people, but I'm going to just go backwards on that. So it came out, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I loved the first Ghostbusters much more than I enjoyed the second one. So I will say that now as I go forward. But Ghostbusters 2, could because it was kind of Danielle's like, I think I saw it. So um it was different. So obviously the first one, they talk about Zool. They had the State Puft Marshmallow Man. You guys remember that. And then the second one, they kind of like skip forward and to the side a little bit. So Sigourney Weaver's character has a baby now, and she works at this museum, and there's this really weird guy that works there, and the painting comes alive, like it's this whole thing. So there's this scene, and I'm going to share it with you guys on the screen as well. You'll see it down in the corner over there. There's a scene where you kind of see from the beginning that things in New York City are kind of going haywire. The baby carriages are going all over the place, and ghosts are popping up out of there. And the Ghostbusters have been retired for a little while. They've kind of been made a joke. They're going to like birthday parties and things like that. And so they go, all of these things are happening around the city, and they go down at some point in the movie down to the old sewer system, subways, etc. And they find this river that you can see down here in the picture of pink slime. Okay. And this pink slime is the source of all of this hatred and the paranormal things that are going on, the excess of paranormal things that are going on around New York City. And so the the interesting part of this and how this sort of ties into things is that we've obviously, you know, since the dawn of time, right? There's good and bad things that happen in this world. There are good and bad circumstances that happen with people, with places, with situations. And, but there are sometimes when it almost feels like there's so much going on. It's an overwhelm of things happen. Can anybody relate to that where you feel like there's a heaviness in the air, and it's almost like there's this buzzing of negativity that can happen sometimes? And a lot of times when I hear it, when we have a lot going on in the world at once, and many of us kind of collectively feel that buzzing of negativity, that sort of something's bubbling up and it doesn't feel really good. This is the scene that I use to describe how I feel about it. It's almost like there's like this stream of negativity slime running beneath the earth, and what the hell are we are we doing about it, kind of thing. And so it's an image that I've felt often, and when people talk about it, I've been like, remember in Ghostbusters 2 when there was like that pink slime? That's what it feels like when I'm trying to find that like visual to describe that bubbling up of negativity that I feel. Um and Yeah, okay. So Danielle has felt that before, right? So it's really interesting um that is uh the visual that keeps coming to my mind. So then at the end of the movie, I'll skip forward a little bit into this and then share with you the post that I saw online. At the end of the movie, they use the slime and realize that if they come together and they charge this slime with positivity, that the that they can use it to their advantage. So they play around with different things, talking to it nicely as opposed to negatively. And that whole scene of how they're sort of finding this out again really speaks to me about how we can come together as people. And anything that we see that's out there that has sort of a negative vibe can be flipped or charged positively in the direction that we want it to go. And so I love that scene where they're sort of trying different things, and it kind of reminds me of some of those science experiments that have been done where people take like different plants and they say mean things to have you guys seen those before? Where they say mean things to the plants, and then they have another plant where they sing to it and they say nice things, and that plant grows up big and beautiful, and the other one not so much. I don't know if you've seen those experiments before, but they're really cool to look at. But it always reminds me that that scene in the movie reminds me that we do have a choice of what we can do, and in any given moment when all of this negativity is going on. So at the end of the movie, they take this slime and they realize they can use it positively. And in order to defeat the bad guy in the movie, this overwhelming negative energy, they turn that negative energy into positive by coming together. They spray it all over the Statue of Liberty, and they go inside and they're blasting "Your love is lifting me higher," right? Okay, they're blasting this song. Okay, if you haven't seen the movie, you could I hope you could sort of picture it at this point. And the Statue of Liberty moves and walks through New York City because they've been able to harness this negative energy into positive and go defeat the boss, the main thing here. I'm totally butchering the story, but you get the point. Um, and so there's a post that has been going around on oh, and we have a comment, by the way. My God, please be careful of the candle and the paper right next to it. So the paper is actually not near it. Looks can be deceiving on camera. It's okay. We're good here. There will be no fire this morning. Thank you for your concern, though. So there is a post that was going around on social media, and the post says, "I have an idea. What if at midnight this New Year's, everyone blasts Jackie Wilson's 'Your Love Keeps Lifting Me Higher,' a nod to the movie, as a way to positively charge all the negative slime that's flowing under the United States." And I will kind of digress for just a moment and say the world. You guys know that I've been doing that Breakthroughs Around the World series for the Breakthrough Show for quite some time now. I think we are over 30 countries in at this point, and every single country on planet Earth doesn't have it right or wrong. I just want to say that. So the whole planet. Okay. And I love that post because it reminds me of what I love so much about that movie, was that we really do have the power to come together and combat negativity with positivity and turn it around. We can take that and sort of charge it the direction we want. So I commented on this post that I love this idea, and it's actually an example I use often about the slime and all of that, and how and some of the things that we experience on planet Earth for real. And somebody commented and said, "Wait, where are the parallels? What's the real life equivalent of the healing song, the animating goo inside Lady Liberty's head, the four-person team contriving her animation, etc." And so I'd like to start by saying this. I commented on that comment, by the way, and I said, I invite you to come watch this morning the show because we're going to be talking about it. And I'm going to be going into detail, or maybe not. Because one of the things that I feel like we really love to do as humans is complicate things. When someone draws a parallel on something or says, this reminds me of something else, or whatever the case may be, it's not always about the little tiny minute details, because it can really be something as simple as, I have felt that level of bubbling sort of ugliness and or negativity before. The pink slime bubbling under the ground, what kind of is a great visual for me, is because sometimes we can kind of piece things together better when we have a visual to go with it. um it's been a good visual for me as I'm talking to someone about kind of this ugliness that's going around, if you will, and how we can sort of combat it. um it can be as simple as that. It doesn't have to be that there's any particular symbolism of animating the head, or that it's a four-person team, or any of these specifics. It really can be as simple as that slime is a great symbolism for what's going on. And the other message, the parallel that I see between the movie and Standing for Love, is that it really is as simple as choosing love, choosing where your focus goes. So even that that scene where they spray Lady Liberty with the goo, and all of their energy is focused in that one place to get her to move, to go combat the evil that they're combating. That when we do that, that it can be such a powerful thing to be able to do and experience. And so it doesn't have to be this very complicated picking apart the movie and what does it all mean sort of thing. I mean, we could go there. Y'all know I could go down the rabbit hole, but I really wanted this to be simple. It's a matter of, I think many of us can relate to having experienced that bubbling up of something other than love. I don't even want to say negativity, because there's a lot of times that it's outside of the scope of negative and positive, but there's a bubbling up of something other than love. And in order to combat it, it's as simple as coming together, focusing that energy on love, and stop trying to pinpoint the other things that are going on. Stop trying to go, well, who is it? What is it? Where is it coming from? If we stop that and focus our energy on the love, that it really how powerful and amazing that can be. Um, Danielle agrees. She said, I'm a very visual person. Sometimes it takes that, we might understand something. Um, we might understand something. The feeling of, yes, the feeling of being overwhelmed with everything. That's a very real feeling too. And I think as we, even the symbolism of that in the movie in itself, as we see that pink slime sort of rise up and take things over, and not being able to like control it, that feeling of feeling out of control with it too. That's a very human thing, because we as humans really love to be in our ego and control freaks, right? Um like there's that feeling of frustration and overwhelm and heaviness, and that's to me what is so well represented in that movie with the slime, and that we can come together and combat it, with just by focusing that energy in one place. Which sort of brings me to a couple different things. Number one, obviously we have a lot going on in the world right now, as per usual, and there's been a lot of talk about the situation in Israel, etc. I know a lot of people who have been very clear about whether or not we should make statements on our business pages regarding what is going on. And I will say this, not just about the current events with Israel, but also and Palestine, but also with anything in the world. There's always that question of, do we make a statement? Do we share how we feel? And I want to make really clear that with the Breakthrough Show Network, my goal has always been to stand for love, to make it a place for peace, to make it a place for conversation, to make it a place for safety, where we can talk about things, where we can do what they did in that movie, which is come together and focus our energy in one place, which is about love, coming together, changing the world for the better, and all of that. Um, I believe that there are certain people here for different things, and I'm here to be a conduit for that, to provide a space for that, both for myself, my guests, my audience, you guys that are out there, all of our hosts on the network. That's my goal. And so, my statement about everything and anything that is going on in this world is that on the Breakthrough Show Network, we stand for love. And one of the people that taught me that so beautifully, and really made it not just about something that I stand for, but something that I actively pursue, was my dear friend Dorothy Auger. Tomorrow is the 1 year anniversary of Dorothy's passing. Many of you have had seen her on the Breakthrough Show, on Project Joy Live, among other programs that we put on here on the network. Um, she was a beacon of light, a beacon of love, and what it means to unapologetically stand for love despite not even despite, in honor of everything that is going on in this world. She wrote her For Love poem in the aftermath of the terror attack in Brussels, Belgium, where her friend was killed. And because poetry was her outlet, she felt strongly that that was what she could do to help in this world. And she wrote the For Love poem. So, with that, here is Dorothy Auger with For Love.
I shall stand for love, even with a broken soul, even with a heavy heart. I shall stand for love, for the world is wounded, not just my little piece of land, where I am mostly safe, where I am mostly well, but our world, everywhere, every day. I shall stand for love, because we need more light, not more death, not more power, not more bombs. I shall stand for love, so that our children are safe, so that our friends are sheltered, so that our borders are open. I shall stand for love, even with a broken soul, even with a heavy heart.
I shall stand for love, even with a broken soul, even with a heavy heart. I shall stand for love, for the world is wounded, not just my little piece of land where I am mostly safe, where I am mostly well, but our world, everywhere, every day. I shall stand for love because we need more light, not more death, not more power, not more bombs. I shall stand for love so that our children are safe, so that our friends are sheltered, so that our borders are open. I shall stand for love, even with a broken soul, even with a heavy heart. I am so thankful to Dorothy for the role that she played in my life, and also the way that that poem has changed my life tremendously, in more ways than I can even describe. But to name a few, in changing on how I view the world, on the action I choose to take or not to take day in and day out, and also for the incredible, incredible people that Dorothy and that poem have brought into my life. Every single day, um, Dorothy had, since she wrote the poem, Dorothy had opened up a Zoom where she invited anyone to come on to read the poem in their respective language. That poem has been translated in over 70 languages. And we just come on. It takes 5 minutes. We set our intention for the day and we read that poem together. That has continued since her passing. That link is still there. We still meet every morning. It's early, 7 a.m. Eastern time for us here in the United States. Um, I am joined nearly every morning by Daria in Brussels and Luis in Brazil, and we have been joined by Greta in France. We have been joined by people in Africa and Scotland and Australia and China and Japan, all over the world. That link is still there. If you go to weshallstandforlove.world, it is a way that we can come together to combat that pink slime that is running under the earth. Um, and I believe that it's life changing. It's life changing to come together in that way. Tomorrow, it being her anniversary, even if it's something that you don't want to come to every day, you don't want to commit to every single day, I would invite you to join us. I'm going to be going around and putting the link to join us in the comments of each of the videos wherever you see us live. Again, it is 7 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow, October 24th. You could join us every day, but I encourage you to join us tomorrow. In addition, I will be playing a lot of the poem videos in all of the languages we've recorded on her Facebook page, which is we shall stand for love.world. And I hope and pray that tomorrow be a day for love where we focus our energy there instead of all of the other places that we could go, but to agree to stand for love no matter who we are, no matter where we come from, and have that be the focus instead of the division, instead of choosing a side, just standing for love, period. That's it. I want to get to our birthdays really quickly today because we do have some fun ones for you. Over the last week or so, we've had several birthdays going on today in the celebrity world. Ryan Reynolds turns 48 years old. Weird Al is 65 today. So Weird Al gets to enjoy the senior menu today. How's that for something interesting? So happy birthday to Ryan Reynolds and Weird Al. Also, the celebrities in my life, Michael Vaginos, who was one of my husband's best friends growing up. Happy birthday to Michael. His was the other day. And then also a couple of our alumni. Grim Long had a birthday yesterday, and then also Annie Henderson has a birthday today. So happy birthday to her! And if anybody else is celebrating, we wish you a birthday. A happy birthday, not just a birthday, a happy, wonderful, great birthday wherever you are in the world today. And let us get our birthday song on. You ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ryan Reynolds, Weird Al, Grim Long, Michael Vaginos, and Annie Henderson, and more. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to all those that are celebrating and who have celebrated recently and who are celebrating in the upcoming week. I hope you have an amazing birthday. Coming up on the Breakthrough Show Network later today, we have an all new episode of Rewriting Reality with Shiraz. He has an amazing guest, Nikki, who's going to be on the show. And as you know, it's really cool if you've never caught his show before, it's awesome because they kind of have a little swapperoo going on. Shiraz does some energetic magic on whoever the guest is, and the guest coaches him back. So it's a two-way street there. It's a lot of fun to witness. So check that out at 3 p.m. Eastern time today, only on the Breakthrough Show Network. Tomorrow night, this is some breaking news. Okay. So a lot of you guys enjoy Beyond 2D with Ferran Dozier and I, where we go down some of those rabbit holes that we were talking about today. Tomorrow, we are not only finishing up our series on boundaries, but we made the decision that this is going to be our final episode of 2023. It's not goodbye. It's not, we're coming back in 2024, but we are going to take some time and think about which direction we want to go next. We've talked about communication and integrity and boundaries and so many different topics this season already. And I really want to give a huge thank you and gratitude and love to my fabulous co-host Ferran Dozier. When I tell you that man is the best co-host I have ever had, it's the understatement of a decade. As far as co-hosting an entire series, he really he brings it every single week. He's not afraid to discuss hard things, as we saw on last week's episode. He is not afraid to cry on camera. He's always prepared, always willing to help. It's been a great experience for me, and I would love for you guys to be there tomorrow night. 6 p.m. Eastern time is going to be the final episode of 2023, closing out our series on boundaries of Beyond 2D with Ferran Dozier and I. Again, 6 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow on the Breakthrough Show Network. And then As per usual, we have our new episode of Spirit Sessions coming up next Sunday, and they're going to be talking about spooky things because it's spooky season and how that ties into spirituality and all that good stuff. So be sure to tune into that 12 p.m. Eastern Time on Sundays. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I appreciate you entertaining this topic with me of how we stand for love and what in the world that has anything to do with Ghostbusters 2. I hope you caught on to the parallels. Let me know if you too see the parallels between what we go through in this world, the potential of what we can do together, and that movie, Ghostbusters 2. I encourage you guys to have a safe and healthy and happy and fun rest of your spooky season. I will be back with you guys next week on Monday for some more spooky stuff. And hopefully, if as long as it doesn't rain Saturday, I will have the pictures for you from the Halloween event as well. I love you guys so much today and every day. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas, and I want to remind you to make every day a great day for a breakthrough and live every day with more joy and stand for love. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.